want to get into this video about basically we have fake superheroes, and then we have real heroes that aren't revered as much as fake superheroes. And I find that interesting because it says a lot about the psychology of us as Americans. Because if you talk to some people that are not from America that know about Malcolm X, that are especially black, they'll tell you, we didn't grow up with comic book heroes and we didn't know about Malcolm X. And, in a lot of, I don't want to say third world, but in a lot of poorer countries compared to America financially, they, a lot of their heroes are, freedom fighters or revolutionaries. And they're not, comic book people. So I just find that interesting. I think that reveals a lot about the psyche of us especially us as black people. I'm sure we've seen, as I have seen, the superhero movies, the most recent ones, and maybe we watched the cartoons, maybe we played the arcade games when we were little, different things like that. But as our generation gets older and we have our children, raising our children, imagine if we raise our children to revere people like Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Stokely Carmichael, Elijah Muhammad, Marcus Garvey, you name it, we go down the list, John Henrik Clark, all of these people. How can we replace the fake superheroes with the real life superheroes? Malcolm X, because it's like, okay, we see Peter Parker as Spider-Man, and he was a nerd, and he got bullied, and different things like that. Well, introverts and nerds or whatever, they can relate to Spider-Man until Luke Cage came out, and that was still kind of different, but can you really relate to, Malcolm X can relate to what you went through more. Spider-Man and Superman didn't go through hundreds and hundreds of years of depression, or and it may sound silly, but when you really think about it, that's really what happened. As far as, look at how much the Star Wars and all of these, franchises make, and this stuff, Batman and Superman, Batman and Superman have been out since our parents were children, or at least teenagers. Going back to what, the 60s, 70s? So, way before we were born, that's the point that I'm making. And I just think we have to change the narrative, just put on new lenses, so to speak, on how we view things. We say we want Malcolm X as a holiday, but is it gonna stop there? Do we want these people, these heroes that saved a lot of people? Yes, he saved himself. Yes, I understand certain people might feel you have to save yourself, and that's what Malcolm X did to a certain way, but he's kind of the balance. He saved himself, he was his own man, yet he respected, for the most part, Elijah Muhammad for the majority of his time he was in the nation. So, there's that balance there between being a leader and being a follower, or just respecting leadership. So I want to know how do people feel about that? How do we go to the next step? He's never going to get a Martin Luther King Day. He's never going to get a holiday. So I don't want to say never, but it's probably unlikely in the near future. So I just feel like implementing more and more and more of the teachings of lectures and different things like that into and become, you know what I mean? Like, he fought white supremacy. You know, I'm not trying to make it a cartoon or anything, but if you were to kind of draw some analogies, they're definitely there. Like, um, he was fighting white supremacy. He spoke up, you know what I mean, against oppression, against police brutality, against inequality in the workplace, or like everywhere. He not only did that, but what he's most remembered for is basically taking a stand, being a man, being there for your family, protecting, being a dominant male figure. So I feel like, how do we, I think we have to access ourselves first. Like, how do we even get to that point where we allow characters to dominate our psyche more than people who have actually done the work? You know what I mean? People who've actually had their lives on line, were killed, versus someone that was killed behind a green screen or in front of a green screen. How do we, and why don't we realize that? I don't know. It's very, very weird when you sit back and think about it. How it's just weird. I can't explain it. Maybe, I hope you understand where I'm coming from with this. But also another thing, Malcolm, and you can say Martin too, but Malcolm, compared to today, he wasn't gimmicky. And I think the older I get out, I think we will appreciate that more. He didn't have trademarks, or it wasn't like I don't know, in the YouTube and different things like that. I mean, of course I'm using YouTube obviously, but I feel like he's it wasn't fake, you know what I mean? It wasn't a gimmick. There was nothing fake about Malcolm X. There was nothing pseudo about Malcolm X. There was nothing Shea Butter Twitter or Hotep, you know what I mean? Like, you couldn't really pin anything on him that you would do today on different people. You couldn't really attach that stigma on him. And I think that's what, you know, the character, I think that's what one of the things I most admire is, when you look at today, it seems like it's a lot of, I don't want to say characters, but you don't see video of him arguing or different things like that. You know what I mean? Like, he was out there, he did the work, he was respectable, yet he took his stance. If you know what I mean, that's what I'm trying to say. I just felt like it was less of, it was just real. I hope I'm making this point. I'm not trying to offend people, but I'm trying to just draw a parallel between how I see things today with leaders. And I mean, it's not even just the black community where we're talking about the black community, but Donald Trump, of course, and just politics is a joke. It's just, back then, just things seemed more serious, more real, more genuine. And, you know, it seemed like we tried to wedge the gap between him and Martin Luther King, but you see pictures of him and Martin smiling together. So, I don't know, it's late. I'm trying to do this video, but I just feel like we glorify superheroes. We spend money. We dress our kids up in costumes, superheroes. We play video games, spend money on superheroes. Little kids' shoes with superheroes on them, kids' shirts with superheroes, action figures with superheroes, comic books with superheroes, comic cards with superheroes, bed sheets with superheroes, pillowcases. You know, like you see where this is going. Like, and then Malcolm X. Oh, Malcolm X Day, and it's good. We still remember him, and we should definitely. But what have these superheroes done for the black community? None of them are black. Even on the mundane level, like none of the superhero stories are black superheroes. They're not saving the black community. They're not written by black people, hiring black people. You know what I mean? So I think we should definitely, we can pick our own superheroes. Yes, we should be our own superheroes and save ourselves. I'm not saying, so before people get on that, but we definitely should just think about where we're giving our energy and where we could be giving our energy, I guess to say. So y'all let me know what y'all think. Am I reaching? Am I crazy? Am I just rambling? Or do y'all see where I'm coming from? I'm trying to make my point clear. Malcolm was, I don't want to say stern, but he was, from what I've seen, he was respectable. He was well-spoken. He was from the streets. He cleaned up, yet, he could still talk with professors or anyone. You know what I mean? So, with today, I see, it's just different, man. It's like people don't really, I don't think Malcolm X would be that respected today. I think he would be boring. Cause let's really be honest. And just for me doing this channel, I feel like I can sit here and talk all day, or I can sit here and talk and go out and do the work. I feel like we don't appreciate people and those who are doing the work. Those who are out there on the streets, those who are out there that are not popular, that don't have slogans, that are not, maybe they don't have a lot of money. Maybe they're not on camera. Maybe they're not doing it for the camera. They're the unsung heroes. I'm sure you have those in every community. But I'm just saying, Malcolm X, he was well-spoken. He didn't talk ghetto. Even though he probably did more street things than a lot of the, I don't know. But you see kind of what I'm getting at. He's dressed in suits. He didn't dress in street clothes. He had glasses. It kind of looks like what probably a lot of people would call a nerd and well educated. But he spoke militant, but that's kind of what I'm saying now. We go with the militant message, but people are, today, they're caught up in the package. They're caught up in the book cover. They're not really caught up in the substance or the details. So Malcolm would sound good, but once he starts talking, you would take the bits and slogans by any means necessary. That's what we do now. We take that. But we really, he's not loud. He's not flashy. He's not, he was a family man. He didn't have women. He wasn't going to the strip club. He wasn't going to concerts and different things like that. I'm not saying there's nothing bad or nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying he would not appeal to the masses like we think he would. And now that I think about it, if you really think about it, if you challenge yourself and think about it, look at these pictures. I'm looking at them, and then I look at pictures of today, and he's kind of the complete opposite. So this is kind of just me bringing this to people's attention. Like, 3 things: we glorify the fake superheroes and not the real ones. We give them all the energy and attention and money. The second one is Malcolm X was he was different, and his appearance was different. He wasn't respected. I mean, he I don't think he would be as respected if he was just to come out now. I think he would get overlooked. People might consider him boring. Or I could be, possibly wrong. So I guess that's kind of the second and the third one. So once again, I'm finished now. Y'all let me know what y'all think, and I'll have this up pretty soon. All right.